All right, so hi everyone, and thank you for joining us on this live session here today. And of course, I would be reading out all of your questions as well. So, once again, a very warm welcome to those of you who have joined us over here on Bolly Last Page. I am really excited for this because today we would have Farman Khan as well as Kritika Singh Yadav who will be joining us. So, we are going to take some time for more of you to join us. And of course, again, if you have any questions for us, drop it over and we would try our level best to ask both of our stars who will be joining us in a bit any of your questions. All right. Okay, so I'm reading all of the questions and
Hi.
hello, hi there.
What's up?
Oh wow, the voice is
Hey.
coming in. Yay, hello, hi there.
Oh my God, bye.
Okay, amazing.
Yep,
Is
Yeah,
the
it is.
audio
I can
clear
hear
for
you.
you? All right, great. So first and foremost, thank you so much for your time here today and joining us, especially for our Malaysian fans who are big fans of the serial. And I think the both of you are doing an amazing job. So thank you so much for your
Thank
time here.
you.
So
First
I'm
of all,
not going to
thank you
waste
for having
much
us. Thank
time,
you
but
for
I'm
having
going to
us.
dive straight
I
into
would like to know your name. I would like to know your name. I said. Ooh, I didn't get your name. Yeah.
my
Sorry.
name. My name is Jalisa.
Lisa. Okay.
My name is
Yes.
Jalisa.
Lisa. How do you spell that? How do you spell
Jalisa.
that?
Yes. So it's Jalisa Sanjana.
Sanjana.
So maybe
Jalisa. No, I
Sanjana
like
is a lot
Jalisa.
easier
Sorry
for
about my
you to
cat
be
there.
pronounced.
Yeah.
No worries at all. All right. So again, we are really happy because the amount of fans that drop us all of the questions as well. And most importantly, I think the viewership here in Malaysia has been amazing as far as your
So
serial is
nice
concerned.
to know.
So I'm not going to waste too much of time. I'm going to dive straight into the very first question that I have here. And of course, I would direct the question over to Faman. So Faman, what is like the very first, or I would say the best memory that you had when you were playing the role of Ravi Randhawa? What was it that was really special to you when you were on set, perhaps? Was there like an incident that took
I think
place that you
it's
could share with
the
us?
same thing is still as special as it was even before. Is the freedom to be, it is the freedom of the character. Up until now, I think television actors in India, Indian television, have a lot of set pattern that works for them. So Ravi Randhawa is one character that is allowed to do anything, and is allowed to show multiple expressions in one scene. And the freedom that I've been given from the directors and the makers is what I think I cherish throughout, and I still do do the same thing, and I feel the same thing about this character. It's the freedom of the expressions.
All right. Freedom of the expression, and I think we can see
Yeah.
a very good development of it as well from the very start to even towards the end of the
Right.
season, which we are actually here at this point in Malaysia as well. So
Right.
very
Right.
good development all in all as well. So thank you for that question of your for that answer of yours. And now I'm going to
Yeah.
move forward to Kritika. So Kritika, as far as your journey is concerned, you started off, of course, as a model, and we also know that you auditioned very specifically for this role. So what was the very first reaction that you had when you were told that you were going to be taking over this entire, series as a lead? So what was
So
your very
yes,
first
I
reaction to
auditioned
that?
for it, and after I auditioned, I just forgot about it completely. But I was lucky enough to get to play Pratiksha. But when I got to know about it, I was still in shock that I got it. And when I got it, I started shooting for it, and I was still like, is it happening? I'm still shooting for this. So it was a very mixed emotion because I had some other plans at that time, but this was God's plan, I think, and it happened. And I'm really grateful for it that this happened.
Okay, nice. All right. And I think the other thing that we can also see is that, the
Huh.
development from you as being a model per se and how you are on set as well, right? So I think that journey
Sorry?
must be very personal for you. Yeah. That journey must be very personal and, of course,
Yes,
encouraging as well
yes,
from
it was
modeling over
because I
to
never
acting.
thought, I never even thought of modeling too. I was doing my graduation, I was doing modeling also at that time, but I never thought that I would take this as a career. And but this happened, and yeah, it is very personal and very encouraging, because in my family nobody's into this, everybody's into government services, and my father also wanted me to be an IS officer, but no, I think God has some other plans. So yeah.
Okay.
No, you can become an
But they
IAS
must be really
officer here
happy
too.
watching you on
Yeah,
set.
yeah,
You
I
just
can
got to get
play.
one character here.
I can be a doctor, I can be an IS officer, I
You
can
can
be
be any
whatever I
you
want
can
to
be
be.
any character you want at
Yes.
any point in your life. So
Yeah.
Exactly. Given your talent and passion as well, yeah, why not? All right, so now moving over back to Faman, I like your answer very much about
yeah.
how, the freedom that you have as far as the character is concerned. So, was there any challenges that you could share with us, in carrying out this role? Was there a specific one that took place, perhaps? I think a lot of your fans would want to know backhand of what
Right.
happens to you as well. So, has there been any
Yeah, so
challenge
I
that you
think a couple
faced?
of things that I can think of at this moment is the initial part of the show where Ravi Randhawa's character had to talk a little very fast in one breath. There were a lot of scenes that I had to do that I had to talk in one breath and not hold back and not think before. See, a kind of character that does not think before he speaks talks fast. There's no,
Right.
it goes in, ek
Mhm.
rakta hua maar ke, he says the same thing. So it goes, so that very thing it gets a little challenging because you have to say the right things that is written down there in the scripts. Also try and make sense while you're saying what you're saying. Try and say the words clear so that people can
Right.
understand what you're saying, but also say it in a way where you're not thinking about it. So, that was a little challenging initially. I had to do a lot of practice before I went on sets, and when I called for the screen for the scenes beforehand, and had to do it in my head a lot of times before I went on set. So that was one of them. The other part was when the death scene of Kirti that happened. That internally did affect me a lot because I for the first time had to go through someone's death in the sense of as a character. So for a
Right.
character, I stand by the fact that I go by my character's emotions and not my own emotions. So to think about Ravi Randhawa being the kind of guy he was, and him falling in love with this girl from his childhood to his college days, and then eventually being able to get to marry her, and being so in love that he's head over heels and gives away everything that he has in his heart to this woman, and that woman dies on the day of his wedding. That internally is very traumatizing for any character, right? You want to have some water?
All right.
Yeah, please have some water.
Is it
Please have
okay
some
if I
water.
take a break? I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank
So
you.
uh, that internally actually is very difficult for any human being. So the characters that we play are also human beings. We need to understand the emotions of them. So that for me as Faman did affect me a lot because I had about 10, 12, 15 days of sleepless nights because I was going through such emotions, such high end emotions. So that was very challenging. That was very challenging to come out of that. Also was very difficult. And even till date, if you see
Right.
the scenes, if I there is one even one thought of Kirti in the scenes, my tears are very natural again. And I don't have to take extra external factors to bring tears because that emotion was so high itself. So I think that these two things are things that I
Right.
can think of that are very challenging for this character.
Okay. Right. But I think the good part about it is that if the challenges are not there, you're perhaps not going to have that experience
There's no
of
fun,
you know
right?
embracing different
There's no fun if there are
different
no
parts of it.
challenges.
Right. You're having
I'm
fun with
open to
it
them.
either
I'm
way.
all in.
Right.
I'm all in. I love the challenges. Nothing I can.
All right.
I think I work better on
I have
challenges.
to apologize for coughing because I think Malaysia is very,
Don't
very
ask
hot
because
at
we're
this
feeling the
point.
same thing.
So I
It's
have
still
to
so hot here.
apologize
Look
in
at the
case if
sun.
I have to
It's
bring
crazy.
water.
Yeah.
I apologize on that. Not
Not at
wanting to
all. Not at all.
distract you in any way. All right. So now, thank you. Thank you for answering that question really well. And I appreciate your honesty out of it as well.
Yeah.
So now moving over to Kritika. So, Kritika, I think this was a piece of an article which we all picked up, and I thought it was really, really heartwarming as well. You mentioned about how you moved from Bhopal over to Mumbai, and living alone was sometimes, a little bit difficult for you. So, maybe you could share with us a little bit about how, when you had moved over and now living alone, and how things are as far as you going over to your set and you having a timetable of such.
It is
How has
very
things been for you?
difficult. So I think adulting is very difficult. It sometimes can get very mundane because you have to do your own groceries, you have to do your laundry and all those work. So I think it's very difficult. I also miss my mom, dad. I wish they can come and stay with me, but it's get difficult sometimes to do all on your own, to stay all on your own. Yeah, it's very difficult.
Okay. But so far, so good. You're enjoying it as much as
Yeah,
it's
I
difficult
am. But
for
as
now?
I said, I miss my mom, dad. I wish they can come and stay with me. I don't want to do everything on my own. I just can't.
Okay.
It's difficult.
All right. Okay. So now
Yeah.
back to Faman. As far as I think the serious questions are over, I think I'm going to push that aside. We are all quite curious to know this as well. So besides you're always entertaining us on Instagram as well. Besides you shooting and being an actor that you are on set, what is your, daily life like, your schedule like? What do you spend most of your
So
time
when
on?
we're not shooting, if you're asking, because while we're shooting, we're just shooting. There's nothing else we're doing at that point. But yeah, see, I kind of
Spoken like a
think
true
that I
actor.
try and have fun everywhere I am, and Kritika would stand that. If
Yeah.
I
Faman,
try and make so I try and
I,
make things a little lighter than it is.
would you
Bol
like
bol
to
bol.
tell them what all things you do with me?
I'd
Like,
like you to say it.
no, I would not like to
Yes.
tell that. So Faman is very cunning. I think everyone will agree with me. Faman is very cunning. He'll pull my leg whenever. I mean, every time, every minute. He loves doing that.
Can I do that to more?
And you know what? There's another comment which I actually picked up, which was really funny because they said that they would appreciate for the both of you to make more reels of what happens backstage as well,
You know,
as compared to what's on
we
set.
both are
So
people who
yeah,
don't make
whatever that you
reels.
just said, I think
Yeah,
We
you should probably
both are
project
like
that a
we
bit
that.
more.
I don't
both are
like
people who
to.
don't make reels.
Huh.
That's the thing. So मुझे जो पकड़ के ले जाते हैं and they make the
Right.
reels with me are the people who I do it with and they collaborate with me and then I accept those collaborations. And I think same thing goes with her. But
What to do?
to be very honest,
Right.
what happens is it goes so organically, the fun that we do on set. So there's no time to sit down and actually capture that. So there must be someone appointed to do that. If I hope
Yeah, there
possibility.
should be somebody who's making reels of the both
Yeah,
of us.
yeah.
Yeah, in the long
You
run,
Yeah.
know,
perhaps someone to
because
follow
I
you
go on
guys
set and
around, and
I
then
like to
yeah,
keep it
there we
very
go.
light. I like to keep it fun. I like to make a lot of jokes. I like to pull someone's leg who gets
Someone
pulled. You know.
like me.
अब क्या
You
होता
talk
है
like me because I
she
get
reacts a
I
little
get tilt
and I
when
find it very
anything. So
and I find it cute and I find
All
it
right.
funny and I find it really
Now,
how
it's
is
so
it
such a
cute?
sweet thing.
How is it cute? It's not. It's not.
So yeah, that's the kind of thing. Otherwise, the other
okay,
things,
so that is nice to know, but also you have to keep this in mind, like make more reels. That's exactly I
right.
think what most of your fans want to see as well. And that was actually a request
So
in a
the other
comment
thing is
as
that
well,
when I'm not
right?
shooting is when
Okay, so now back to
most people would not know this about me, but I love a quiet time when I'm alone. My mornings are such, my nights before I sleep are such. My half an hour, 40 minutes that I spend in the morning and in the night are very quiet and off social media, very to myself, completely looking out of my window, doing nothing, saying nothing, thinking nothing. And that just gives me the right sense of being, and it just sets me up for the day or the night. And so that's something I like to do from time to time. Also, if possible, I like to go out, treks and in different locations, try and see other different parts of this beautiful country that I live in.
all right, nice. If at all traveling is on
I
your list,
shall,
then you should make a
I
trip
shall,
down to
I shall.
Malaysia as well, the both of you, in fact. Yeah. All right, so now my question back again is going for Kritika. So Kritika, as you had answered us earlier about your journey, you started off with modeling and now you live alone. You've also, of course, been an inspiration to a lot of young girls out there. A lot of young girls who have been following your page for a long time. And it is, of course, a very strong message that, if you have to pack your bags and leave and start in doing what you have to do in terms of your passion, then you should. So what is the best advice that you could give them?
So I think just follow your dreams, follow your heart, take risk. Don't be afraid of failures because I think failures are part of everyone's journey. But what
Right.
you do after the failure is important. And just be yourself. Don't try to fit in to anything. Just be yourself, and yeah, and don't take anything too seriously, and have fun while doing everything. Uh, and yeah, that's about it.
All right. Nice. So a little bit I would like to touch on the role as well. Has there been any challenges for you? Because we heard it from Fahman earlier. So what has your challenge been in terms
Oh,
of
a
the
lot
role
of
here in
challenges
this series?
because, as I said, I auditioned for it, and we just started in like next 3 to 4 days. There were no workshops, nothing. I had this. This is my first show. I had no idea, about how TV industry works and everything else. But I think the main challenge was to understand the little nuances of the character, to get into the skin of the character, and to understand it, the emotional part of the character, how Pratiksha emotionally is.
Right.
For me to relate with that was little difficult. That was my challenge, but I think slowly I'm learning, and it's been great so far. But yeah, that was the bigger challenge for me.
Okay. Nice. All right. So back to Fahman before we wrap things up over on the interview here today. And I believe the both of you have quite a
We have a night
busy
shift
schedule as
tonight.
well.
We're
So
shooting
my question now is, of course,
We're
going
shooting the night tonight.
sorry?
Night shift, I
Yeah.
hate it.
Tonight? Right. So this is perhaps like
I
your
was
Yeah,
nap
sleeping
time,
kind
I'm
of.
before this.
guessing,
I
right?
just
Is it?
got
I was going to good. I'm going to sleep after this.
Okay. Right. So I'm
That's
going to be
okay.
very quick, I
That's
promise
okay.
you. Right. Okay. So my question is going to be, if at all you were not an
A cricketer.
actor, what do you think you would be?
That was quick, wasn't
Oh,
it?
wow. A
Yeah,
cricketer. Okay.
that's what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
To be
Quite
very
quick.
honest, initially,
Yeah.
I did have a few injuries during the course. I did play for the state for a little while. I had an injury and then I couldn't recover from that, and it took me about 2.5 years to recover from that. So theater became a little